that will teach us how to use our or have a better experience with the Mars system, because the Mars system is plain and simple that it's a bland. It's not a positive thing or a negative thing. It's a lot of kind of the same thing as main weapon and sub weapon, and also multi weaponizing, or two characters, two weapons putting together. It doesn't change the game or even the augments themselves. Just broad currency, it's hurting the game stasis how it is, and how NGS introduced AC, the player shop, is fully for players that want to pitch in and help the game itself. That's pretty much what it is. You're helping the game to last longer and make it live a little bit longer. And SG is like, do you want to support the game? Here we go. But you're getting it for free. The SG might as well spend it here. If not, whatever. That's pretty much what they're saying. Just spend it. But if you want to, you need to be in the meta of the game of, outfits. You have to spend money. It's not like Genshin Impact. The AC, your spending money shop, the banner shop, it's not by AC here or SG. And Genshin Impact, Star Rail, and other games like that, they have where you're spending real money, real currency, and real money, as well as your game currency. It's all in one. Because you're treating players as, if you want to, if let's say I'm spending all my SG currency into scratching, and then once I hit rock bottom to 0, that encouraged players that's playing for free. Oh, if you want to scratch a little bit more, if let's say AC and SG are together, you need to spend real currency. If not, wait till the next time till you have more SG. See, that right there is being polite and telling you, if you want to support us, or if you want to get what you want, you have to pay a little bit extra to get what you need. But no, it's not like that in NGS or PSO2. They're pretty much saying, if you're going to want to get the outfits that you need, you have to spend. Regardless, spend to get what you want. The same difference. They're like, here it is, the currency for free-to-play players. If you don't have enough SG, don't bother. Or if you want to be like everyone else, creating FOMO, here we go. Spend money and get what you need. See how the wording and how it splits and diversity of different players. Why not all in one? How NGS, not NGS, excuse me, Genshin Impact and Star Rail and Seven Deadly Sins do it, and other games that it's like that. Just saying. But also, like I said, um, augments needs reworked and improved. Because what it is now, you cannot change. That is fair. But you could improve it by adding certain qualities and features to it to enhance it for players can have a better, easy way for casual players mostly and people that want to do min-maxing or hardcore. They will have a choice how to improvise or improve their state of the game, how they want to play it. And also items. All the materials that we have from materials and where is it? The herbs, veggies, seafood, fruits, they had to be accountable on how you get buffs, how you look at things in NGS. Sega should start thinking like anime. What is the popular anime that they were in real world and going to the game inside? Like, if it's not anime, Jumanji, for an example, is a board game that people got inside in the game. The new one is the video game aspect of Jumanji. There is a board game of Jumanji, but you're going into a game and you have to survive it. And there's rules. But an anime aspect of things like Log Horizon, Sword Art Online, Dot Hack, many more. There is so much what Sega can do and learn from it, like that grandpa thing or solo player. There is more examples that Sega, they lived the anime life in Japan. That's the Sega is Japan company. So why not, deep dive in and get more influence of other anime or manga that real people or webtoons or manhwa or whatever get more influence and how to refine and change the game for the better. Because Maceta is hurting the game, state of the game. The augments, the materials, equipment, so on and so forth, what I've mentioned earlier, all that is hurting because we don't have the right proper equipment as in outfits and the materials to improve our equipment and augments, so on and so forth. But yeah.
To an extent, right? Like you can choose if you want to go more offensive, if you want to go more defensive with more HP, if you want to go more utility with more PP, or if you want to sacrifice all of that for just pushing as much damage as possible, right? That's something you get to decide when you're augmenting. And of course, there's going to always be the mathematical right choice. However, there's a decision to your playstyle overall that doesn't exist in a lot of these other games, where they've gone a bit more simplistic in route. They're able to not have you go through all those systems. PSO2, you could argue that that's part of the charm. That's the good portion of it itself, and I do agree with that to an extent. However, you
Yeah.
also have to remember that we're looking at this from the perspective of not just ourselves, but players in a whole. And there are a large number of players that are like, hey, if I just get a piece of gear, why can't that gear just already have the power that it's supposed to have, right? Like, why make it?
I agree. I agree on that. But we have to see the general aspect of things, how it could be for players that want to be hardcore, mid-maxing, and also casual. Not to be selfish on that note, but also, like I mentioned, that would probably be more fitting in us, NGS, for Sega, that we have the materials to improve it. Gathering, making a recipe with the materials. You're mixing and matching and see how you could improve it. There are going to be different kinds of upgrading the materials to a super, or something that is so unique and refined that you can upgrade even further. It's like Monster Hunter. You need certain materials to make a certain weapon, and to upgrade of the weapon tree, you need a certain monster and certain materials in order to get what you want. That should be the end goal. Kind of like Monster Hunter, you're going to different stages of a certain weapon from your class, and also if you don't want it, you found something better, or to have different fixa or potency, floor potency, whatever, you could sell the old one for newer players or players that is coming in, or people that couldn't get to that point and they're like faster method, buy it from the shop. And like Bliss Unleash, you have weapons from different tiers. You have E, F, and D. Then the higher tier is S, A, B, and C. And then the new one was double S. So there's different rankings of weapons. And sometimes rankings doesn't matter, depending on how further you refine the weapon and upgrade the weapon and improve it. And from that point, your gear, like I mentioned, if it has status, because you have gears that have status, also you have gear that I'm using don't have status. So you're in the public and so-called the free zone, safe zone, excuse me, not the free zone, that you could use your, equipment status gear, or, the outfit, and, chill out and hang out with your friends or buds or whatever you want to call it. Alliance, whatever. But once you could upgrade the gear and refine it and improve it, how you play the game or what role you want to get into. Because pretty much the roles that we have is our class. The class is our roles, how we want to play the game. If you want to play close range, mid range, depending on what weapons you're using. And also depending what class that you want to use, hopefully we may have another class or classes and different types of weapon. Because Slayer is just one weapon. Waker is one weapon. Where's the other weapons? You know, it's Braver. It's just one, two weapons. Is there another Braver weapon? Because let's see, this one has 3. This one has 3. This one has 2. This one has 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1. Are there going to be more weapons for classes, for these two classes? Or are we going to have another class that's going to have a single weapon? Just saying.
Come by anytime, okay?
But that would be an interesting idea.
It's so difficult. Why add all these extra systems in? And that's totally a reasonable thought process to have. You could, I mean, that totally makes sense. And if you're coming from the perspective of, well, you know, that's just not what this game is. You know, we want our game to be this way, so on and so forth. That's how a lot of games die. By not
I agree.
adaptive. You want to.
I agree. That's how a lot of games, like Bliss Unleashed, for an example. That was an MMORPG game. It's like Terra. It's like a sister of that. But Bliss Unleashed wasn't adapted enough, even though they had different content and putting in some work here and there. But mostly they were just concentrating on outfits, how people could buy, invest in the game. They're not investing into the game, improving certain areas, certain aspect of things in the game. And before you know it, they shut down in the console. The servers went down, and everybody was afraid of that because they spend so much into the game, and it just got wiped out for nothing. So money and things that they spend into it, it just went kaput. And then they have a little bit life left, and I think it was 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, that Bliss Unleashed was still live on PC, and that also died. So the servers went down. What does that mean? Is Sega just gonna keep concentrating on collabs and outfits, and putting little and being so slow like molasses, and putting dabble in certain contents here and there, and events and things like that to keep it live? And a lot of people saying it's the same thing from PSO2 base game. Nothing has changed. They slightly improve it, yeah, sure, here and there, and remaking certain things that it was already in PSO2 aspect. So when this gonna die? If they keep doing it in the same route, if they're following the same step in PSO2 base game, and Bliss Unleash, if they follow them as well, if they keep on progressing just pure outfits, like he's saying, the end game is outfits. You're looking all fabulous and pretty. If that's the only end game, and the story mission and urgent quest and going to a level 100 further and just urgent quest, limited time quest, is that all that for hardcore players, mid-maxers, and maybe casual players? that trying to get into the lore and also playing the game and have fun, is that all for those people, not just fashion? There is a borderline between, or like he said, everything else in the game, but fashion is the whole majority that's sucking everything else. It's something to talk about, something to know.
Adapt to the majority of your player base without alienating your other portion of your player base.
I agree.
It's a very fine line you have to walk, and I feel like PSO2 could.
I don't think it's the fine line. It's how they done it, and they don't want to move on. That's how they get their money. But there's different ways. Why keep reaching for the same pig, that guinea pig, to make it do everything else? Why not find a different source and improve that? That's why a lot of MMOs are dying or not in the works anymore, or they were in the works and the development stopped because that's all they were thinking about. Easy cash grab, how to make other people interested. Looking pretty, fashion, looking pretty, not balancing and improving enough, being a little bit more of the game itself. But you know, it's the developers, like I've mentioned long ago. It's the developers' fault, the team, and also the company for going easy, finding easy cash grab. You know,
walk this line a bit more in the other direction with this tombstone change, or with the currency change, right? Imagine if instead of you spending a ton of Meseta
hold on.
to